Everyone can assume that people learning German as a foreign language might struggle with similar words a lot, but even many native Germans do have some serious problems with distinguishing certain words and when to use which one. Here is a very prominent example for this and hopefully a simple solution to this problem. One of the most common problems when building a German sentence is to know when to use das with one S and when to switch to das with double S. By the way, in past times, Germans wrote this word with a scharfes S. Today, this is considered wrong in any case and you have to write das with two S. D, A and double S. Although those two words, das and das, look quite similar and there's no noticeable phonetic difference in spoken German, there's quite an important difference between these two words when it comes to spelling, especially in formal contexts. Let's begin with the determination process. This is the first case. The exemplary sentence is: Ich mag Obst, das frisch ist. I like fruits that are fresh. In this sentence, das is a Relativpronomen, a relative pronoun. A pronoun is an equal substitution for a noun while still referring to it. So here, the das initiates a so-called Relativsatz, the relative clause. In most cases, a relative clause is a certain part within a single sentence that refers to the subject and describes it more detailed. Here, the word das and the rest of the relative clause directly refers to Obst and specifies it. It adds information. And to even specify this, the part das frisch ist is an Attributsatz, an attributive clause. If you want to, you can still stick to Relativsatz. This is less specific and more general. There is more to the topic of Relativsätze, but that doesn't matter too much right now. An attribute or adjunct, das Attribut, specifies a noun and adds details to it. In this exemplary sentence, we get to know that the person saying this does not refer to fruits in general, but only to fresh fruits. However, here's a second, different scenario. The second exemplary sentence is: Ich freue mich, dass du gekommen bist. I'm glad that you came. Unlike before, you can find das with double S here. Das with double S is a conjunction, die Konjunktion. Again, to be more specific at this point, it's a unterordnende Konjunktion, which basically means that you connect two sentence structures on a different level. For instance, a main clause, der Hauptsatz, and a subordinate clause, der Nebensatz. Now, here is the trick. If you can substitute das with one S with just one of the three pronouns dieses, jenes, or welches, the English forms would be which or that, without changing the meaning of the actual sentence, be aware that it can be possible that just one of these three words work. In this case, it is still a scenario with a possible substitution. And contrary to this, if the substitution isn't possible with any of these three pronouns I mentioned before, you have to use das with double S. Alright, let's check our examples. Let's go back to the first case, the first exemplary sentence. Ich mag Obst, das frisch ist. Ask yourself, can you substitute das with either welches or jenes or dieses without changing the meaning of the sentence? That is very important. This also includes the sentence type. Is it a statement? Does it become a question and therefore change its meaning? That shouldn't be the case. Try it. Ich mag Obst, welches frisch ist. Oh, it already works. Great! At this point, you don't need to check the other two ones because one already works. In this case, dieses and jenes wouldn't work, by the way. So I'm allowed to write this with das, with just one S. How about the second example? Ich freue mich, dass du gekommen bist. Check again if you can substitute das with one of these three pronouns mentioned before. Ich freue mich, welches du gekommen bist. No. Ich freue mich, dieses du gekommen bist. No. Ich freue mich, jenes du gekommen bist. No and no. Nein! That doesn't work. You'll notice that this isn't possible and completely erases all the semantic meaning this sentence did have. This means you have to use das with double S, because you cannot substitute das with either dieses or welches or jenes. And that's pretty much it. The rule itself is pretty easy to comprehend, but I guess many Germans didn't learn it correctly back in school, which is quite sad. Especially in formal contexts like a written application for a job, it will most definitely look strange to write das with just one S, where das with two S is needed and would be correct. That just doesn't look good. And it could make people think that you are unable to deal with your own language. I think once you understand this simple rule and you can remember it, and you have a couple of exemplary sentences, it's quite probable to remember this for your whole life, without having to think about the rule. However, thanks for watching. I hope this could help you. Do you have suggestions for a German lesson about a specific topic? Yeah? Then feel free to write a comment. Also, a very important thing, if it has helped you, please don't forget to leave a little like and spread the word. Make sure to follow my channel page on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date. You can find links to these pages and even more information, like ways to support me, in the video description. Thanks for watching either way. I'm your Vlog Dave. Tschüss und bis zum nächsten Mal.